Well, your Minnesota Vikings did it again. Tired is Skull LSU. Wired is now USC Vikings. Let's go. The men of Troy at it again. Vikings were at 87. They traded down with the Niners for 102 and a couple of day 3 picks, and take Mekhi Blackmon, the cornerback out of USC, formerly at Colorado. And I know what you're saying. So the Vikings drafted an older, smaller cornerback who they did a lot of work on. What is the reason? Why are the Vikings drafting so many USC players after taking Jordan Addison at 23? It's so that Caleb Williams next year feels right at home with the Vikings. Make it happen, man. Make it happen. Now, there was a lot of question marks with Blackmon because a lot of the mock draft people did have Blackmon rated a lot later than he went, the last pick of the 3rd round. Also, Kwesi mentioned that they were considering taking him at 87, but of course, teams see players differently versus how the public, how we see them. And also, Brian Flores, man, obviously, he should have had some input on the selection, and I trust his judgment in this spot. So let's talk about the brand new Vikings cornerback, Mekhi Blackmon, today. Background. 24 years young, turned 24 in March, so a bit of an older prospect, 5'11", $178. Grew up in the Bay Area. Originally was at San Mateo Junior College before transferring to Colorado for 4 years. Then took his talents from the Buffaloes to USC in 2022, following Lincoln Riley, just like Jordan Addison went from Pitt to USC. So makes sense there. Was solid his 1 year in LA, just like the aforementioned Jordan Addison. 66 tackles, 13 passes broken up, forced fumble, 3 interceptions, a 90.6 PFF grade, as well as our guy Vikes Insider points out, Mekhi Blackmon was the 2nd highest graded cornerback last season on PFF. Blackmon had 85 plus grades in both man and zone coverage. The only cornerback to do that, only other cornerback to do that was Devin Witherspoon, who went very high to the Seattle Seahawks. Still hurts me. At least he didn't go to the Lions. The Lions screwed that up. But we'll get to that. But did not test the greatest. Didn't blow the doors off the roof. A 6.57 RAS score. Undersized, especially weight. Bench was not great. Serviceable in the 40. Did good in the 10-yard split. Solid broad jump as well. And his scouting report from Lance Zierlein, NFL.com. He's actually projected by Lance as a 6th-round pick. But here's what he said. Aggressive man cover cornerback whose physical play brings both passes defended and penalties. Blackmon gives receivers a rough ride over the first 5 yards, but his extended grabbing will be less tolerated by NFL officials. He's capable of phasing routes when matching from press, but he doesn't have the hips to transition smoothly when playing off-man coverage. He's talented at squeezing the catch space and timing his challenges, but Blackmon's lack of size and fluidity could limit his pro chances. Strengths: experience starting outside and in the slot, fires quick, accurate strikes into opponent's chest from press. So basically, smaller, feisty, maybe relegated to the slot in the NFL, but I like his attitude, man. Like, if you watch a couple of USC games, like number 6 absolutely gets after it. He does have that dog in him, and the Vikings had him in for a top 30 visit. They met with him at the Combine, so they did a ton of work with him in the pre-draft process. So it's interesting to see. But yes, I mean, people have made a lot that, that the Vikings selected Blackmon over several other notable mock draft names, specifically Kaylee Ringo from Georgia. A lot of people had him as a late 1st-round pick. Clark Phillips III. If you wanted a scrappy cornerback from California originally, why not take Clark? Darius Rush, Combine star. Terrell Smith, the Gophers' late rising Combine star. Corey Trice, absolute insane size on the outside. Jacorian Bennett, physical freak. Hodges Tomlinson, of course, is a huge playmaker and nephew of LaDainian. Darrell Lutu Jr. Tested extremely well. Kyle Blue Kelly, Eli Ricks, etc. So there's a ton of really good corners on the board still, but you do have to respect that the Vikings went this route with Blackmon. They did the work, and you got to trust Kwesi, as well as you especially have to trust Brian Flores, because who would know better than what he wants in a cornerback in his defense than Brian Flores? And obviously, he had to have been very involved in this decision. And so looking at the Vikings quarterback depth right now, so Murphy coming in, and if Blackmon gets on the field, I think it is going to be in a slot cornerback role, so that could potentially allow Murphy to play more on the outside, but that is a little bit more down the line. I think right now the plan is to have Evans and Booth knocking on all the wood, if they're healthy, to be the guys with Murphy that form the triumvirate. So Murphy, probably Evans starting in base, and then Andrew Booth Jr. coming in nickel, and Murphy kicking inside. upside. Blackmon could get into that mix as well, plus a free agent, former second-round pick, Jawan Williams coming in from the Patriots. Also got Tay Gowan and Kalon Barnes sitting there chilling as well. So, like I said, there's some questions. Again, older prospect, undersized, and ahead of a lot flashier cornerback names in the draft. But I just like his disposition. I like his attitude a lot. It sort of reminds me of Mac Alexander. But hopefully Mac Alexander the first time around and not the second time around. But again, gotta trust the process, gotta trust Kwesi, and especially trust Brian Flores in this spot. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings draft USC cornerback Mekhi Blackmon at pick 102 in the third round. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.